Last week, during an appearance on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, MSNBC host and former US Congressman Joe Scarborough announced that he was leaving the Republican Party. And ever since then, Joe Scarborough has been saying the Republican Party has died. Donald Trump is destroying the Republican Party. Donald Trump, Republican Party, bad, 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 bad. That's all we're hearing from Joe Scarborough these days. And you know what? He's absolutely correct to an extent. Donald Trump is bad for the Republican Party, and he is helping to kill them. But that's not the only reason Scarborough is leaving the Republican Party. He believes they've lost their way. He believes that they have lost their morals and their values. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Scarborough. The Republican Party of today is absolutely no different than the Republican Party that you represented as a member of the United States House of Representatives. In the 1990s, in case people didn't know, Joe Scarborough served as a member of the House of Representatives from Florida's 1st District, happens to be the district that I live in. And during that time, he was one of the most conservative members of Congress. Wanted to privatize the Department of Education, the Department of Energy, any department he could get his hands on, wanted to privatize it, get the federal government out of it, hand it over to corporations. Wanted to do away with abortions in the United States. Take away a woman's right to choose completely. Voted against raising the federal minimum wage to $5.15 an hour. He thought that was unfair to businesses, having to pay people what at the time was thought to be a fair wage. Joe Scarborough is what helped put the Republicans on their current path. For him to come out and say that suddenly they've lost their way is an absolute lie, and I don't believe it for a second. You know why? Because Joe Scarborough is setting himself up for something bigger. In the immediate days following his appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, he tweeted out a picture of Mika Brzezinski taking a selfie with Bernie Sanders, saying, "Oh, Mika's daughters will love this. They're huge Sanders supporters." That is pandering, you idiot. And we're smart enough to understand that. We know what you're doing. We see what you're doing. You, based on your voting history and what you have said on your television show, hate everything that Bernie Sanders and progressives stand for. Don't you dare try to pull the wool over our eyes by tweeting out a picture of him and saying, "Ooh, Mika's daughters love him," as if Mika's somehow dragging you to the left. That's not what's happening. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski absolutely helped to create the Donald Trump monster that we're living with today, and Scarborough himself is personally responsible for putting the Republicans on the disastrous path that they are on today. Privatization, tax cuts for the rich, cutting minimum wage, doing away with minimum wage. That is what the Republicans today believe, and it's what Scarborough believed with the Republicans in the 1990s. He has not changed. You know what's changed? He wants the ratings from the anti-Trump crowd. And he's trying to draw them in by saying, you know what, now I don't like Republicans. Now I don't like Donald Trump. Even though I let him come on my show all the time and I went to his friggin' New Year's Eve party, I don't like him now. We're not that dumb. You spent 8 years during the Obama administration going after him because he was popular. When George W. Bush started to become unpopular, you started going after him as well because you thought it would help your ratings. And now, claiming to be leaving the Republican Party, tweeting out that selfie of Mika and Bernie Sanders, are you trying to set yourself up to run on the Democratic ticket for president, Mr. Scarborough? It sure as hell seems that way. But the American public, at least the Democrats and progressives and the liberals, we're not that stupid. We do not buy into your sudden change of heart because you are the one who gave us the modern day Republican Party, and it is absolutely no different than what you helped create in the 1990s. If you like this video, make sure that you like, comment, and share, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to help support Ring of Fire, go to patreon.com/TheRingOfFire, become a monthly patron to help support independent progressive media.